Tall Black history has been written largely over the last few years with the name Tab Baldwin at the helm. Now it's the turn of Nenad Vucinic to take centre stage. A new chapter in Tall Black history begins tonight as the Tall Blacks face Venezuela on the road to Beijing. It'll be a hot night tonight for the South Americans in the wine barrel.
Venezuela are going to be tough tonight. They're going to come out, they're going to be attacking us as hard as they can, but we're going to throw it right back at them. With our new systems in place, I feel we're going to get the upper hand over them.
Hey, we're just going to welcome them to New Zealand, you know. We're going to give them respect, but at the end of the day, they're coming into our place. They come to take on the black and the white for New Zealand and Hawke's Bay. And so we're going to show them how we do down here in the South Pacific.
A weekend of men in black begins tonight in Napier. Tomorrow night at Eden Park, it's the All Blacks against the Wallabies. But tonight, it's the tall men in black against Venezuela, the Vino Tinto, as both these nations begin their Olympic qualifying campaigns. Well, at least the build up to that. Of course, the Tall Blacks start their Oceania series on August 20. 2 days later in Las Vegas, Venezuela begin their America's qualification for Beijing in 2008. Welcome to the Pettigrew Green Arena, the wine barrel in Napier, on a very cold and wet night in the Hawke's Bay. We do feel for those folks in the Hawke's Bay that have suffered over the last few weeks with the rain. Stephen McKay with the rock, Kenny Stone here, and both these nations in transition, both with new faces, particularly the Tall Blacks at the helm, a new coach, Nenad Vucinic, and new players on the other side as well in Venezuela.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for the Tall Blacks after the success they've had under Tab Baldwin. Now Nenad Vucinic gets his opportunity to take the helm. He'll put in some new systems. He's excited about this opportunity. On the other side, you got Venezuela. They've really chopped a lot of their older, more experienced players and have gone with the younger team. So both teams in a bit of a transition. An exciting game, I think, ahead tonight.
Well, exciting too, Kenny, because every coach wants to put his stamp on something. He's been the assistant for Tab Baldwin for some time, Nenad. What stamp can you see him putting on the Tall Blacks?
Well, I think he's going to run different offenses. He's been running them in Nelson and trying to perfect them down there. The last couple of weeks, he's really put in a lot of different offenses that the teams haven't been used to running. Some of them have been developed under Tab, but a lot of Nenad's own offenses and defenses. So it's exciting for him, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's exciting for the players as well.
Well, there's nothing more exciting than international sport at any level. Let's meet the Tall Blacks for 2007.
Hi, my name's Dylan Boucher. I'm a small forward and I debuted for the Tall Blacks in 1999.
Daryl Cartwright, position forward, debuted 2002.
I'm Michael Fitchin, I'm a point guard and this is my debut series for the Tall Blacks.
Hi, Perry Cameron, power forward, debuted 94.
Paul Henardi, point guard, debuted in 1998.
My name is Kirk Penny. I'm a guard and I debuted for Tall Blacks in 1999.
Casey Frank, I'm a power forward and my debut for the Tall Blacks was 2005.
My name is Phil Jones, shooting guard, debuted in 1994 for the Tall Blacks.
Tony Rampton, position centre, debut 1999.
Lindsay Tate, point guard, I debuted in 2003.
Mika Vakota, small forward, debuted in 2005.
My name is Paul Winitana. I'm a shooting guard and swingman for the Tall Blacks and I debuted in 2002.
There are your Tall Blacks for 2007. And we do have some special news. The Tall Blacks tonight will perform a new version of the haka. I'll have to look down on my notes here to get this one correctly, but it's Tukaha Opango Te Kahakatia. And the man responsible for drilling them in this new haka is Don Hutana, a leader in Māori culture here in the Hawke's Bay. Well, welcome to the broadcast, Don. Tell me, first of all, why do the Tall Blacks want to do and perform a new haka?
According to the coach, Nenad, he wanted something to inspire them And actually, my mate Paul has been asking for quite a while whether they could do a haka, and this chance arrived, you know, that just came up. So they asked if I'd write a haka for them, and I did.
Now, many people will ask what type of haka and what will we see, what meaning will come out of this haka?
Yeah, well, unlike a lot of other hakas around the country, this is not a threatening haka. This is a haka that, first of all, pays tribute to the opposition team, and then makes a statement about standing strong in the face of whatever they're about to bring.
Now, one suggestion, I've read the notes, that the kahikatea tree, that's where the strength comes from.
That's right. Because the kahikatea tree is the tree that has the widest spread roots, right? So that acts as an anchorage, and within the spread of those roots, what I've noticed since working with this team, they've got something called kotahitanga, which is unity. They've got whanaungatanga, which is a good relationships with one another like a family, and those are basically their roots, and I think it's going to stand them in pretty good stead for tonight.
Will they do you proud tonight?
I think so. They did really well in their practice today.
All right, well, Don, thanks for your time and good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Don Hutana, the man behind the new haka you will see later on this evening in our coverage. Tukaha Opango Te Kahikatea, that is the new haka, a welcoming haka, not a threatening haka. Well, there's one thing that you always know when someone gets the chance to represent their country at international sport, they are extremely proud. One man in the Tall Blacks tonight who will hopefully make his debut is Michael Fitchett.
Putting on the black sling, that's the biggest honour you can have in New Zealand basketball, and when I first got the slinger, it was a pretty proud moment for me, so I'm pretty excited to get out there, do the haka and get on court with the boys and have a crack.
Well, you know, Fitchett's a character in himself, and he doesn't need too much welcoming or so-called, you know, kind of gassing up, so to speak. He's a live wire, he comes out talking like he's the vet.
In the last year or so, he's worked very hard on his game, and that showed in the final series against, first in the semi-final against Waikato, and then against Hawke's Bay and Nelson. He played great, and I think he's probably going to be the face of the future.
The guys have been treating me really well. It's a pretty veteran bunch, and I know them all from the NBL as well, so they've been treating me pretty well. I have to do the odd rookie duty, but not too much.
Obviously making the team for the first time, it's a pretty exciting time for him. But also he's obviously been under Nenad Vucinic for a number of years now, so although he's new to the Tall Blacks team, he knows the systems really well, he knows Nenad very well, and he's actually been a really big help to myself and the other guys, and helped us you know, learn the totally different system that we've had to pick up over the last 2-3 weeks.
Nenad Vucinic, the coach, he was one of my heroes when I was growing up. I used to watch the Nelson Giants games when I was a little kid, and he was playing for them. And Phil Jones also through the late 90s. He was a bit of an idol of mine. So yeah, there are a few guys that I look up to on this team.
He got the call up, and yeah, it'll be a really exciting time for Mike wearing that senior singlet for the Tall Blacks, because he represented New Zealand at the junior level.
You know, point guards usually have to show leadership qualities, and he has that, and he can show it on the court. And you know, this season he did that, and they came away with the championship. But I think he's going to learn a lot from people like Pero Cameron, Dylan Boucher, Paul Hanari. You know, those guys have been around for a long time, and I think he can develop even more.
He couldn't be a nicer guy. You know, he's a great guy to be around. He's got a real good grasp of the system, having played down at Nelson for the last few years, and knows exactly what Nenad wants from him. But mostly, he's just, you know, he's really worked hard. He's become a much better player in the last few years than he was previously, and that's just due to his hard work and dedication to the game of basketball.
Yeah, it's always been a dream of mine to play for the Tall Blacks. That's always been my major goal in basketball, and hopefully I'll get on the court and achieve that.
And we love him. You know, he's doing a great job leading the systems out there and leading the break, and I think he's helping, you know, Paulie and Lindsay.
You know, he's tough as they come, that fella. He's a little brick, and you know, he's intense, he's smart, he can shoot. You know, everyone talks about his height, but that's not an issue. He's fast, and yeah, he's a man. He's a tall man.
Michael Fitchett, a very good season with the Nelson Giants, the championship-winning Nelson Giants under the now Tall Black coach Nenad Vucinic. We know he's good from the free-throw line, Kenny, number one. But when you talk about Fitchett, you've always got to realise there are players that are not here, and there's a team with a point to prove as well. When you think about the likes of no Craig Bradshaw, no Mark Dickel, players like Fitchett will have to step up.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Mike Fitchett because there is no Mark Dickel. Paul Henare and Lindsey Tate got the point guard position, but he'll get some minutes there hopefully, and we'll see how he adjusts to the international competition. You mentioned Craig Bradshaw, and he's somebody that'll be missed right now in the first couple games. I understand he'll be available for the third game possibly, but he's been over in the U.S. trialing in the NBA. But he's certainly someone that with the retirement of Ed Book, Craig Bradshaw is important to add that size, scoring power that Ed Book brought.
Before we take a quick look at the Venezuelan squad, what are we going to get? I mean, the Tall Blacks have beaten them on the last two occasions. Beat them last year on the road to Japan 2006, beat them in pool play in 2002. But what style of ball are people at home going to see?
Well, I think that's one question that Nana Vucinic is wondering as well. Hey, they're a young team. Again, you mentioned at the top of the show, they don't have a lot of the key players that they had from the World Championships last year. They've got a young team. They've decided that 2010 World Championships are going to be their goal. So they're going to get these new players blooded in. So I think we'll see up and down. We'll see a good tempo. We'll expect to see some good shooters from them. But looking at them in warm-ups, they've got some size there as well. They'll be looking to bang on the boards. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what this young Venezuelan side will bring.
And of course, they'll be led by what one would consider the veteran Hector Romero. Let us meet Venezuela for the first test in this 2007 series.
David Cubillan, point guard, Marquette University.
Hernán Salcedo, forward, Gatero del Zulia.
Ever Bayona, center, Guayquería de Margarita.
Axiel Suque, forward, Marinos de Anzoátegui.
Carlos Cedeño, point guard, Guayquería de Margarita.
Kane Palacios, forward, Cocodrilo de Caracas.
Reyes Vasquez, point guard, University of Maryland.
Alejandro Barrio, guard, Trotamundo de Carabobo.
José Vargas, guard, Trotamundo de Carabobo.
Luis Telmid, center, Cocodrilo de Caracas. Miguel Marriaga, center, Gaitero del Zulia. My name is Hector Romero. I'm the power forward of the Venezuela national team. I play in Murcia, Spain.
Yeah, don't mess with Hector. I think that's going to be the line, Rocky. You just got the look in his eyes. But there's also a couple of university kids in there that do have the goods. And Nestor Salazar, the coach, believes they are the future for Venezuela.
Yeah, he's got two players playing in the American college system. Vasquez at the University of Maryland, playing in the ACC, where he earned all freshman honors in the ACC. So obviously a good up-and-coming player. And the other one,
Vasquez.
David Calderon.
Oh, Cubillan.
Sorry. I knew I'd mess up on one of these names.
You're allowed one.
That's my one. He's playing for the University of Marquette. It's another good college system that he's involved with. Neither of them are in their starting lineup, but I expect to see some good things out of them.
Yeah, Jesus Urbino, I think we're talking about George Mason University. Yeah. Anyone that comes out of this NCAA system, are they a better player on the world stage?
Well, that's a question. I don't necessarily think they are. I don't think that equates to being successful in the international stage. But I do think it means that they are some talent that are trying to be developed. They will learn some skills in the States that they can bring back to their team.
Well, there was a lot of disappointment for the Tall Blacks after what many would say was a disappointing Japan of 2006 at the World Championship. So a lot of players have got points to prove in this series as we head towards the Beijing qualifying in the August series against the Boomers in Australia. Two of those players are coming home to play for the Breakers. One is Phil Jones, the other is Kirk Penny.
I have previously been playing in Berlin, in Germany, for Alba Berlin, and really enjoyed my time there. A very good team and a very good place to be, you know, a great city.
I've been playing the last 8 years in Europe. Started off in Finland, went to Greece, back to Finland, then I managed to break into Italy, which is, you know, a pretty big time league in Europe.
You know, every time you come home, you know, you get into the airport at first, you're like, oh, it's nice. And for me, you know, seeing family is so important, and just understanding the language and being around, you know, your fellow Kiwis has become more important to me over time.
For me personally, it means a lot to come back to New Zealand and be involved with Firstly, the Giants. You know, I've been very loyal to them in the past, and you know, I love to play for them. And secondly, the national team. You know, the national team I've been a part of for a long time as well.
Playing with Kirk and Phil after they've come back from their tours in Italy and Germany, I think it was this year for Kirk. It's exciting, you know. That's probably a higher brand of basketball than we've played here in New Zealand, and they've improved their skill level to play in there. But when it comes back to the national team, I think everybody just finds the place where they fit in. And with the shooting ability of Kirk and Phil, I think we always know what their role in the team is going to be.
Once you're all wearing the same colour singlet, you're automatic friends and you're automatic teammates. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether you've played against them or whether they've been out of the country for the last 8 months. You know, as soon as you put on the same colour jersey, it's you all got the same one goal in mind.
You know, with Phil and I both coming home, we have seen a lot of different situations and had many different experiences in Europe, and to bring that into the team will be crucial. You know, just to know how a team should be playing at a certain point in time, to know when to bring it, to know when, you know, it's an important part of the season. You know, we need to have a good start. We need to make sure that you know, the guys are on the same page as early as possible and buying into what we're doing. And you know, the senior players in the team usually take care of that.
Well, there's Phil Jones returning, unable to play for the Nelson Giants in the Dominion Finance NBL because he wouldn't make the prerequisite 5 game. He must be champing at the bit to get back into game time.
Well, last time we saw Phil Jones was in Japan. A very disappointed Phil Jones. Very uncharacteristic shooting woes. He really struggled, and he's already admitted he has a point to prove. He wants to come back, play well for the Tall Blacks, and really get back to this where he was before Japan.
And then there's the man that seems to have a bit of wanderlust in the system, and that, of course, is Kirk Penny, now ensconced with the Breakers for the new NBL season. He's signed a 1-year deal. What do you want to see out of Kirk Penny? They're trumpeting him as one of the biggest signings in the NBL in the off-season.
Yeah, I guess from Kirk we want to see his shooting ability. We haven't seen consistently the Kirk Penny that everybody's raved about from the States, from his NBA experience, and certainly now from over in Europe. But I think we want to see good shooting ability, leadership, getting other players involved, as well as knocking down the shot. So it'll be interesting to see.
It'll also be interesting to see how the 3 youth and Auckland Stars that you ran around in the NBL this year perform when they are Tall Blacks. We got a chance to speak to them and see a little bit more of what makes them all tick.
They're pretty relaxed. Lindsay's always got his iPod. Lindsay Tate's probably one of the most relaxed guys. Before a game, he's always got his iPod on, always sort of focusing on what he's got to do.
Having played with Dylan and Casey for quite a while now in Auckland, before big games, they're both quite relaxed and easygoing. You know, they keep the mood pretty easy.
Dylan, before a big game, is pretty funny. You know, he gets pretty fired up. He's had a lot of experience in a lot of big games. You know, he's won, I believe, 8 titles in New Zealand, won a title last year with Brisbane in the Aussie League, and he's had a ton of international camps. So he knows what it's like to be around big games, and he's a great guy to have around because he's got a lot of tips for you. You know, he's good at if you have anything to ask about the systems or what's going on, players, he's always there for you.
Casey's a bit of a jokester. He's always likes to have a joke around, and he spends most of his time at the physio before a game getting everything taped up. So yeah, he spends a lot of time on that physio table and doesn't let anyone else have it to him.
Lindsay, on the other hand, he's a bit quieter. He's not the most talkative guy, even though he's come out of his shell in the last couple of years. But he's definitely more on the quiet side, a little bit more introverted, just concentrating on what he needs to get done as opposed to being more of a vocal leader.
Yeah, it's always nice to play on the same team as your club teammates, but this Tall Black team's been together for a long time as well, so a lot of us have been past teammates and a lot of us are present teammates. And in the past, we've had a lot of fun on the Tall Blacks on tour and while we've been in camps.
Yeah, it's great to play with people that you've played with in the domestic league, but as well as I've played with a lot of these guys before internationally, in the Australian and the New Zealand league.
We've been playing together for the past 4 years or so, and it's always a joy to come back together with the Tall Blacks. You know, it makes it a lot easier to play with guys that you know what they're going to do in certain situations. And when you have a familiarity with guys, it makes it a lot easier to adjust to things like the system that we put in, and hopefully that'll show on the court when we get some court time together.
There's a big advantage for myself, Casey and Lindsay, being obviously we've played a lot of years at Auckland together. The chemistry is always there. When Lindsay penetrates, I know exactly what he's probably doing, probably before he even knows, and vice versa. When I do something, or if I pull off a crazy pass and it seems to hit Casey or Lindsay, it's probably because they know I'm going to do that crazy pass a lot more than all the other guys do.
Dylan is the old man of the Auckland Three. Now, I know you know all three intimately, Kenny, all with different roles. What can they bring? Do they bring anything to help Nenad out?
Oh, I certainly think so. Dylan Boucher, we know his experience, his leadership. Casey Frank, rebounding. He's a big physical player. He can score from outside as well. And then you got Lindsay Tate, who's probably the opposite of Paul Inari. Paul's more of a passer, set up, whereas Lindsay looks to score a little bit more. Probably better from that three-point line. But again, those three, as a coach, when you have them on the floor, they instinctively know, as Dylan was talking about, what they're going to do. And that certainly helps your confidence as a coach, knowing that they're playing together. This tallback group, the core of them have been together for a while as well, so that's important for Nenad.
And I suppose just briefly, Kenny, right here, when you're playing at this level, instinctiveness is a key.
Oh yeah, that's why spending so much time together. Nenad's had the luxury of 3 weeks of camp beforehand, so building that instinctiveness and that togetherness is certainly a benefit.
All right, the other important thing at this level is you need leaders on the court, and Nenad Vucinic certainly has that with the 3 Ps, Paulie, Paola, and Pero.
Well, if there is anything in this team that we have, that is leadership, that is experience in leading the team. This is a team that has got a lot of experience and a lot of players that have led certain teams at certain times, including the Tall Blacks. And Pero Cameron and Paul Henare have been leading their teams for years, but also experience of guys like Phil Jones, Dylan Boucher, Paura Winitana is really valuable for us.
I think it's just something that comes with the responsibility of the team. Most teams have a captain, and we have ours, but we also have leaders within the team, you know. So it's a bit of I guess a team effort, a team responsibility.
You know, everybody in the team are in their own way are a leader. You know, we have a number of players who show by example. Some very good talkers out there. Paulie Henare loves to talk.
Well, you know, I was talking to Phil Jones, and he first made the team in 1994. So, and Pero was a year after that, I think. And you know, we've got guys that have been in the team for over 10 years. Myself has been there for a while. Dylan Boucher for a while, but you know, I think our main strength of this Tall Black side is the internal leadership that we do have with the core of players that we have been around the international game, not just basketball in general, but been playing top quality international basketball for a number of years. And I think in this series and also leading up to the Australian series is what we're going to fall back on.
Nenad Vucinic as a coach, he's a very good leader. He's communicating very well with us on and off the court, and I think it starts with the coach, because you know we play that style of game and we play those systems, so we have to have that communication with each other and be open, you know.
They say practice make perfect. Maybe it's the 3 Ps in the Tall Blacks who bring perfection for Nenad Vucinic in his first night. Pero Cameron, the big man, off to the Gold Coast plays in the new season. Kenny, before we meet the starting fives, what do you briefly want to see from the Tall Blacks in this first of 3?
I'd like to see some execution. They've been working 3 weeks intently with Nenad's new systems. You want to see how well they've been able to pick that up. And defense. Defense, it doesn't matter. You can always play hard.
What was that? Defense doesn't win rings. Is that something along the lines? Don't win the boards, don't win... What?
Rebounds win rings.
Rebounds win rings, and Pero and the boys be heavily in the thick of that. Welcome to the Pettigrew Green Arena. If you've just joined us on a Friday night, it's the Tall Blacks against Venezuela, and you know it's time to meet the starting fives.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. The 2007 Test Series of basketball between Venezuela and would you please make noise and give it up for the Venezuelan starting five with number 6, Carlos Centeno. Number 11, Jose Vargas. Number 12, Hector Romero. Number 13, Manuel Barrios. And number 15, Herbert Bayona. for tonight, introducing Gavin Fiu, Andy Thackeray, and Up High, Up High. Our flag bearers tonight are both 11 years old. They are Alex Barber and Kyle Fitchett. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the national anthems of Venezuela and New Zealand, to be sung tonight by Aruna Maui. Ladies and gentlemen, if you turn to page 12 in your program tonight, you'll find the words of God Defend New Zealand. We encourage you to join in and sing the national anthem of New Zealand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the New Zealand All Blacks will line to perform the haka, which traditionally ties to the Venezuelan team.
gentlemen, the new haka from the Tall Blacks, Lieutenant Dan Hennessy with you here, sitting alongside Coach Kenny Stone. And well, welcome everyone to this 3-game friendly series between the Dominion Finance New Zealand Tall Blacks and Venezuela. Now Venezuela, they're ranked somewhere around 21st in the world. Tall Blacks are hovering around 10th. But let me tell you this, looking at these Venezuelans warm up, they are a massive bunch of fellows. 8 players well over 2 meters tall, and their average age is only 24 years, 8 months. So they're big, young, and physical, and that's South American style basketball. Kenny, can you see these guys? They're massive, they're big, they're young, but the experience that the Tall Blacks possess, I just don't see Venezuela chalking up tonight with that kind of experience the Tall Blacks have.
Well, let me just start off, Dan, by saying I just had goosebumps watching that hockey. It's great to see they've been working so hard on that. And boy, did it get everybody going.
Absolutely, yeah. And that was the less intimidating one.
That's right. Well, as far as the Tall Blacks, they've got the experience, and I think that's going to carry them through in this series. Talked about Venezuela and how they've put together a young team, really building for about 2 years away at World Championships. They're still wanting to improve themselves, looking towards their Tournament of Americas. But again, the Tall Blacks, they've got the experience, this starting 5 that have been together for quite a while. I certainly expect to see some good things out of this. And I think the key is how well have they collectively picked up the new systems that Nene Vucinic has been putting in over the last 3 weeks.
Well, the new reign starts tonight. Coach Vucinic, he is the man in charge, and this will be the first game with him at the helm. Now starting with Kirk Penny, Paulie Henare, Dylan Boucher, Pedro Cameron, Tony Rampton, but would you look at their bench, Kenny? Lindsey Tate, Bill Jones, Winnie Tana, Casey Frank, Daryl Cartwright, Michael Fitchett, that's their bench. So it very well could be an insurmountable task tonight here for the Venezuelans. But they've got some talented players, and they are a big squad. Now for tonight, we got Gavin Few, Andy Thackeray, and Apai are the referees for this sold-out competition tonight at the Wine Barrel. Here we go. Kirk Penny with the rock for the Tall Blacks. He'll kick it off to Dylan Boucher. Now Paulie Henare, top of the key. Around goes Kirk Penny, up and in! Kirk Penny with the first points of the game, and it's been a long time between drinks.
Well, good to see Kirk coming off early, getting a good look at the basket off of a set play. Similar offense that Nelson ran to win the national championship in the domestic NBL.
Jose Vargas with it now, he'll get it inside. Hector Romero will spin, Boucher on him. Back out it goes, might be backcourt violation, no it's not. Around they go, we'll have to put one up. And that is a 24-second violation, lockdown defense by the Tall Blacks.
A good solid defense there, switch. Dylan Boucher switched, didn't allow Venezuela to get an easy shot, forced him into that turnover off the 24-second spot.
Paulie Henare catapulted into the starting role. BC for 3, bang! Pedro Cameron lights it up from downtown.
And right now their execution picture perfect. Both times players coming off screens, wide open for good looks at 3-point shot.
Carlos Cedeno with it now. Vargas, top of the key, looking for help. Back to Cedeno, back out to Vargas. Vargas is going to drive. Around it goes to the outside. Barrios for 3, that's off the mark. Who's got the rebound? Romero's got it, he'll put it up, that's no good. Paulie Henare comes away with the rebound. He's going to wait for the rest of the troops. He'll find Dylan Boucher, he'll go baseline. Dylan Boucher in the corner to Rampton for 3. Why not? Tony Rampton, the center of the Tall Blacks, sinking threes, Kenny.
And a quick timeout there by Coach Salazar for Venezuela. Tall Blacks couldn't have asked for a better start there. Three exceptionally good looks at the basket. 2 out of set play, and that time off the penetration to Dylan Boucher, finding Tony Rampton, not known as an outside shooter, wide open from the corner.
If they help the big, look for this corner pass to the big. Okay? By the way, look at that right there. The screen up on the With that switching on that trail there, look for that screen back there. Also, he goes over the top on that play again. Defensively, keep pushing the ball screen. That baseline pass. Comes right through. Sergio running his arm, but he's not killing, okay? So you should be able to recover there. So if you get caught at all, just go slick, right? Because number 12 is on the last screen. Respect the zone as well. Right? Go fast.
Well, here we have it, early days. Kirk Penny, spin around, drops it. PC, bang, he'll nail it. And Tony Rampton from the corner, nothing but the bottom of the net for the big man. And well, here we go, back to the action. Carlos Cedeno will bring it up for Venezuela. He will find Barrios, Alejandro Barrios. Around it goes to Vargas. Back to Barrios. No way in. He's going to go by PC. Bayona, the big unit, Herbert Bayona. He will spin off the glass and he will get Venezuela's first 2 points.
All Blacks come out very aggressive defensively, and Venezuela just don't look like they're able to handle it at the moment. Don't seem to have any continuity in their offense.
Carlos Cedeno just got pushed down, I believe, by Paulie Henare. This was tipped to be a 3-game friendly series, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not looking that way right now. Paulie Henare will not take this in his own house. Well, it's all on now, Kenny. It's all on. Here we go. Let's have a look at it. Paulie Henare just got his massive guns in the way and pushed over Carlos Cedeno.
I think Cedeno may have acted a little bit, but
I don't know.
Certainly no love lost early on here.
Look at the guns on Paulie. He's still bumping into Paulie. Paulie can't believe it.
He's asking, what's this guy think he's doing?
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this, but Paulie Henare's probably got the biggest arms in basketball.
Well, if you're Venezuela, you don't want to take a step back either. You want to continue to challenge.
Kirk Penny in the lane gets 2! The floating finger roll from Kirk Penny. Back the other way now. Barrios, inside it goes to Hector Romero, and we will have a foul on the play, and bodies are flying. Tony Rampton getting into the mix early as well.
Here, Perro overcommitted himself. Romero able to go to the basket hard. Rampton too late to get there. Sends Romero to the line.
Hector Romero shooting 2. The first one is money.
It's going to be an interesting matchup with Romero against Carol Cameron. 2 extremely strong players.
2 big, strong players, but I know who I'm going to put my money on. Paulie Henare with the ball now for the Tall Blacks, leading 10-4. Asserting their dominance early on this one. Kirk Penny with it now. He's got Jose Vargas playing right in his back pocket, and Jose Vargas will be called with a foul.
Vargas extending that pressure, putting a lot of pressure right on Kirk Penny way out wide. Penny started to make his move at both hands, holding him back. One of the things the Venezuelans will need to adjust to is what the referees will and won't allow.
All right, Dylan Boucher has it now for the Tall Blacks. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Kirk Penny with it. He'll roll around top of the key. Inside it goes to PC. And, well, Hector Romero will be called with a foul as PC was ready to back up the bus on that occasion.
In this offense of Danny Vucinic, there's a lot of movement. We'll see Perro Cameron there. Just don't really see him getting that good position, stepping in the lane there. Probably should have tried to take it up himself and score.
Paulie to inbound. He's going to find PC, top of the key. PC puts up a 3-ball. In and out it goes. And who's got it? Well, Barrios will get the rebound. He'll kick it off to Cedeno. Cedeno with it now for Venezuela. Behind the back, good ball skills. Looking for help. He finds it. Get blocked underneath by PC. Away come the Tall Blacks. Paulie Henare with it now. He's going to Counter drive, and he will draw a foul, I believe, on Jose Vargas. And let's see if we can get a look at this replay here. There's Big Pero Cameron, and that is a block for the big man as he just totally shuts down Hector Romero. Paulie Henare going to the line in front of his home crowd here.
Nice job by Henare getting the defender on his hip. Really attacked the basket strong, drawing that foul.
And Napier, my hat is off to you. You are a basketball town. This place has come out in droves tonight. Not a seat in the house. As Paulie nails the second one, 12-4, with 6:45 left to go here in the first. Carlos Cedeno now. Vargas, Barrios. Inside to Bayona. Rampton working on him. Bayona, one-handed hook shot. It will drop and one. And well, he just worked Tony Rampton right down into the paint.
Well, there's no help coming down. Bayona is such a big man, able to make his way into the middle of the key. We saw him earlier score off the same type of move. That time picking up the foul as well on Rampton.
Well, it's definitely a changing of the guard for Venezuela. Their older players, 29 years old, Axir Sakri. And that will miss, but somehow Paulie Henare will end up with it. 3-on-3. Coast to coast. And we've got a charge called on Paulie Henare. Venezuela will regain possession here.
Well, that's the same thing as he did last time. This time, the slight extension of the arm there, pushing the defender off.
Carlos Cedeno with it for Venezuela. Paulie Henare playing on him. Looking for help, finds it in the form of Jose Vargas. Jose drives, kicks it out. Barrios, Bayona trying to get it back to Hector Romero. Shot no good, right there with the rebound. Here comes Paulie Henare on the run, all by himself, coast to coast. Oh, and it's swatted away. Venezuelan style, baby. Jose Vargas coming across the lane and shutting it down.
Great weak side help, he timed that perfectly.
Paulie to inbound, 19 on the shot clock. Kirk Penny open for three. Bang! Kirk Penny gets another. Back the other way now. Vargas inside, it goes to Hector Romero. Pump shot, no good. Draws a foul. It's going to be on Pero Cameron.
You were not up straight when you hit him on the arm.
And Pero will have a word or two to Andy Thackeray to wonder why, how, in fact, did I get that foul? Let's have a look.
Well, I thought we would have called more with a hand on the hip rather than contact on the shot. However, Romero goes to the line. Romero really trying to attack every time he gets the ball around the post area. Not afraid to go right at Pero Cameron.
Casey Frank poised to come in for the Tall Blacks, as is David Cubian and Grievous Vasquez for Venezuela.
Got a young backcourt checking in there from Venezuela. They're two U.S. college players, Cubian and Vasquez.
Well, George Mason University and Marquette, two Division I clubs. Boucher underneath, no good. Tip it back out to Kenny for Penny, no good. Bayona with the rebound, stolen by PC. Oh, what a steal! Past the Boucher, that's going to be two more. And that's beautiful, unadulterated Tall Blacks basketball. All right, David Cubian now. Inside it goes to Big Bayona. Jose Vargas looking for it. He'll receive it now from Bayona. Back to Bayona it goes. Casey Frank giving up a lot of centimeters there. Hector Romero tries to throw it top of the key, but Kirk Penny got a hand on it, and they will maintain possession.
They've only got 1 second left on the shot clock. Well, it's got to be a long throw, catch and shoot.
Lindsey Tate's into the game now for the Tall Blacks, and as I look out there, Kenny, I see your three-pronged attack from the Auckland Stars wearing the black singlets. Herbert Bayona to inbound, 1 second to go. He's just going to loft it up, and That should be a 24, as there's still 1 second left on the shot clock.
That should have expired. There was a player touched the ball, and there was certainly a second by the time it landed out of bounds.
Pedro Cameron said the time should be done.
Right now it should be tall black ball. However, Venezuela gets one more opportunity. Watch the contact under the basket. And
Herbert Bayona to inbound, looking, oh, he just puts it in
they can't
from
count.
half court. Holy moly, what a shot that was. Nothing but net from the big man from Venezuela. Look at this. Can you believe it? Whack, and it goes. And Kenny, that's the only whack Venezuela will get all night. They get no more whacks or banks from me. Lindsey Tate now, he can put up a three-quarter court shot and sink it. He'll find PC, puts it up for three. Off the back of the iron, who's got it? Away comes Romero. He's gonna find David Kubian, puts it up for three. And that will sink for David Kubian. The young gun for Venezuela, and he's pumped up. Lindsey Tate finds Kirk Penny, top of the key, rolls around the perimeter, looking for help, finds Casey Frank. Casey Frank puts it up for three. And that's gonna be up, PC's there! Puts up a shot, no good! Barrios comes down with it. David Kubian now running for Venezuela. Lindsey Tate on him. Inside to Bayona. Bayona spins, and we've got a travel call on Herbert Bayona, Tall Black's ball.
Bayona's battling hard against Rampton early, and now Casey Frank. Real physical matchup down around the block. A lot of screening. See there, Bayona going down to the block, catching it there. Andy Thackeray calls him for the travel. So he didn't get the ball down before he moved that pivot.
Phil Jones with the ball into the game now for the Tall Blacks. And we've got a charge called as Grievous Vasquez goes flying. And we'll have to wait for Phil Jones's first points.
Well, it's interesting so far watching the contact on the screen. That time, yeah, Pedro Cameron lowered his shoulder to make contact on the screen, but it's been no different than what's been going on for the first 7 or 8 minutes of this game.
Hernan Salcedo into the game for Venezuela now. David Kubian finds Salcedo, back to Kubian. Top of the key, and there's just nowhere to go. Salcedo with it now. Out to Vest. We got a 3-second violation called on the Venezuelans. Tall Black ball. And wow, what just suffocating, collapsing defense the Tall Blacks are portraying here.
Yeah, they're doing a good job switching out when they need to. Really being physical on Nick down along the baseline. Venezuela not really looking to execute a lot of offense other than on-ball screens.
And well, as I look across, I see the Venezuelan coach, Nestor Salazar, going loco. He almost walked out of the building there for a moment, but he's back. Mika Vacona into the game. And he will lose the rock. Kubian will get it up to Hector Romero for the big set down. He will miss it. Lindsey Tate will have that foul. 2 shots coming up as Hector Romero has a few words to say. And all of a sudden, this 3-game friendly match is looking anything but, Kenny. As I see a smile come to your face, Kenny, as you see all this madness now encompassing the floor.
Venezuela wanting an intentional or unsportsmanlike foul on the breakaway. We'll see it here, Lindsey Tate.
Well.
Yeah, it certainly could have been called. And
they're fiery.
Romero taking exception to it.
Well, they're a fiery bunch. We've seen that thus far. 3:31 left to go here in the first. Tall Blacks up. 17-11.
Well, I know for the Tall Blacks, they've been in camp to knock into some of the players, one of the most physically demanding camps they've ever been a part of. They've been going at each other for 3 weeks. They're ready to take it out on somebody else. see Mika Vicona and Romero going at it down there.
Almost a steal. Salcedo does have the ball for Venezuela. He'll kick it off, around it goes. And yes, Miguel Mariaga will finish that off for Venezuela. Venezuela only down by 3 points now. Pulling their way back into this one. Casey Frank, top of the key, looking for movement. Finds Lindsay Tate. Will he give us one of his patented head fakes? No, it goes to Boucher. Up to Vicona. Bang! Mika Vicona for 3! Vicona!
Well, we've seen over the last month, Mika Vicona displaying some of that outside shooting he's been working on over the last couple of years with the Breakers. Will knock a 3 down.
Miguel Marianga loses the handle, but Casey Frank will be called with a foul. And here it is, Mika Vicona for 3. Vicona half the mirror. And rebounds and 3-pointers. Okay. Miguel Mariaga now at the line for Venezuela. He will nail the first one.
At a loss for words, Dan.
Well, can you tell I've been dying for this game for about a month and a half now. I've been holding my breath the whole time. Miguel Mariaga will nail the second one. Lindsay Tate will now bring it up for the Tall Blacks. Paulo Winitana to Casey Frank. Casey Frank spins. Off the back of the iron, no good. Who's got it? Salcedo. He's on the run. He's got Phil Jones in his back pocket. He'll slow down. Kick it off to David Cubian. Back to Salcedo. Into Mariaga. Good defense by Casey Frank. 13 left in the shot clock for Venezuela. Cubian to inbound. Does so. Around it goes. Back to Cubian. He better hurry. He's got 4 on the shot clock here. Top of the key, left alone momentarily, puts it up. Now we will have another 24-second violation. The Venezuelan coach. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter what language he speaks. You can tell when a coach is miserable, Kenny A.
Well, Cubian just didn't know where the shot clock was. He was waiting for a specific player to come and set a screen. By the time he did come, it was too late to get a shot off.
And while we have a second here, hey, get your game face on. Go to gameface.co.nz for all your Tall Black apparel. They got wicked stuff. Embroidered beanies, sweatshirts, the works. So check it out.
I expect to see you decked out in that tomorrow.
I will be in all the gear tomorrow, absolutely.
You'll be trying to sneak on the court.
Well, the crowd's loving it here at the Wine Barrel. And as I said earlier, well, Hawke's Bay, Napier, they came out in droves. It was raining cats, dogs, and llamas today, but they came out in force. As I peer around, there's not one empty seat in this arena.
They love their basketball down here, and we're certainly rewarded by getting this international match. Thought a few weeks ago for the NBL Finals, another sold-out arena. Not only are they enthusiastic, but a very knowledgeable fan base down here as well.
Now, also, if you're just joining us, you're way late. And also, Mark Dickel, well, he's back in Vegas, helping himself out with a back injury, had back surgery, so he's not 100% yet. He's staying there. Craig Bradshaw might join us, perhaps on Tuesday, you hear, the last game of this series.
Well, what I heard was that he's arriving in Wellington this weekend. And with everything that's changed with the Tall Blacks, certainly unfair to put him in and expect him to play the next day.
Right.
Might be an opportunity for him to play in that last game of the series before they head over to China.
All right, Lindsay Tate with the ball, finds Mika Vicona. Mika looking for Phil Jones. He will be hassled as Phil Jones throws a little shoulder of love. And wow, it's really chippy out there, isn't it, Kenny?
And the referees are going to have to keep an eye on this throughout the game. Both teams have been in the refs here. Both coaches have been in the refs here. We've got relatively inexperienced Api out there. Local Hawke's Bay ref. Some NBL reffing as well. Got a more experienced Gavin Few and Andy Thackeray.
Now there he is on camera there. Nenad Vucinic is the modicum of control, and on the other side, we've got Nestor Salazar, who almost ran out of the building. So two totally different coaching styles as well, I would have to say.
Well, you've got the European style with Nenad Vucinic, very calm and matter-of-factly, and you've got Salazar, South American flair. Not afraid to express his emotion.
Or are his players, for that matter. David Cubian with it now for Venezuela. Looking for help. Finds it. Mariaga. Vasquez. Inside it goes. Nice shot by Axir Sukri. Back comes Lindsay now. Lindsay stops, pops. And that's going to be short. Mika Makona, of course, will get the rebound. Make a nice bounce pass to Phil Jones. Phil Jones puts it up for three. Bang! Phil Jones, welcome back, baby! And the net barely moved on that occasion.
Been after a better way to start back. First shot, knocking down a three from Phil Jones.
Mariaga puts it up, and he will answer back. And he's just a big unit, 2.08 meters. Mika Makona back the other way. Finds Lindsay Tate for three. Bang! Lindsay Tate, everybody's lighting it up from downtown.
Well, it's all like 6 and 9 so far on the three-point line.
David
the ball
Cubian,
extremely well.
He goes all the way around, no go. Paulo Unitana will get it up to Mika Makona. Makona all alone, he will draw a foul. And wow, the speed between international basketball and the NZBL, nothing against the NZBL, but wow, these guys are fast out here.
Well, as soon as that shot goes up and it's secured, Kona was away. Good job by Toto Winatana looking ahead.
Well, in comes back Hector Romero and Carlos Cedeno back into the game. Number 6, a real fiery customer for Venezuela. Keep an eye on him, especially when Pauly Hanade comes back into the game. Mika Makona, no good on the first offering. 19.1 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Tall Blacks up by 8. Cedeno over half court now. Lindsay Tate right on him. Vasquez. Grievous Vasquez. He'll drive, he'll shoot. That's going to be short. Hector Romero puts up a prayer from downtown. No good. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The Tall Blacks put on a dominating performance in the first quarter. They lead by 8. Well, now, Kenny, did you expect anything different from the Tall Blacks? A lot of perimeter shooting. A lot of them are getting open on the perimeter, but they're dropping them, aren't they?
They did a nice job, especially early on, executing their offense. Saw the first 3 shots wide open out of some good offensive play. But their execution, Venezuela adjusted their defense a bit to it. See here how good start that they had through Kirk Penny and Pero Cameron. Venezuela adjusted later on and did a better job at their offensive end. They've come back to claw within 8 at the end of this first quarter.
Definitely a fiery start to this one. And you can tell, you're right. Here's the coach. You can tell these guys have been going at one another for 3 weeks, and they're just happy to have some fresh meat in front of them, aren't they?
And the same with Venezuela. I'm sure they've been training hard to get their series or their preparations underway. if we hear anything from Nuna Vincent here.
The second double from the other big. Okay? Drop. So we double from the other big. On the high side. On the high side. On the second bounce on the low post. No matter where the other big is, sorry. Okay, no matter where the other big is. Guys, we really rotate. Let's try the next 3 possessions down the 4, 5. Okay? All 3 possessions on 5.
Now, Kenny, did you get anything out of that timeout? Because I personally was totally distracted by the cheerleaders.
Well, it was hard to hear just over the noise of the crowd. But I think they're looking at running the offense. I couldn't tell what they were trying to get out of it, whether they're trying to go through the low post or not. But whatever they're running, looking for that execution. And I'd suggest defensively, better execution for them.
All right, Jose Vargas will inbound to Carlos Cedeno. Around it goes to Barrios. Alejandro Barrios, top of the key. Back to Cedeno, into Bayona. Herbert Bayona working on Casey Frank. Back out to Barrios for 3, and that's good. Good ball movement that time by the Venezuelans.
Yeah, New Zealand rotated to double down on that and left the shooter wide open. He was able to knock the free before the next rotation came.
Lindsey Tate, Casey Frank back to Lindsey. Lindsey's double team. Casey Frank's left alone. Phil Jones. He'll come out a little bit and he will drop it. He just looks automatic every time he's got the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he certainly looks like the Phil Jones that we've seen before. Very comfortable shooting the ball, very confident.
Holy moly, Carlos Cedeno lights up from downtown. And that was an NBA three-pointer, that one was.
Yeah, the defender went under the screen, which I guess you can understand that far out. Cedeno felt very comfortable shooting from that deep.
Casey Frank finds Phil Jones for 3. That one is in and out. Romero with the rebound. Up it goes. Cedeno, no help. Marianga in the corner, it goes, and yes! Jose Vargas from the corner. And all of a sudden, the Venezuelans are only down by 1 point here.
Venezuela's doing a much better job moving the basketball. Tallback's not getting as much pressure. You see Casey Frank with a tough move inside. Wanted the foul as well. He got the 2 points.
Comes back the other way. And Bayona went down, that was not to be. Away comes Wititana, finds Lindsey Tate. Lindsey finds Jones. Jones waits, he stops, he pops. Off the back of the iron, Mika is there amongst 3 Venezuelans, can't come up with it. Back the other way now, Barrios. Barrios looking for help, finds it. And that will go in. Jose Vargas will get the 2 points, and he lands pretty hard. We will have an injury timeout.
Venezuela doing a nice job pushing the basketball, getting some easy looks at the basket.
Well, they are getting some decent looks this quarter. The first quarter, the best look they had was when Herbert Bayona threw it in from half court. That was about it. There was 3 24-second violations. Fantastic defense first quarter for the Tall Blacks. Paulo Wititana will bring it up now. You'll find Lindsey. Lindsey Tate, pageant head fake in the paint. And we'll have a foul on the play on number 11, Jose Vargas.
You're right about that head fake. You got him on that. Quickness got him to the middle, good penetration. And an easy shot for Daryl Cartwright if the foul wasn't called.
Daryl Cartwright into the game now for the Tall Blacks. Good to see him in a black jersey the way he played this season. And Wititana will lose the rock, no he won't. Lindsey Tate will pick it up, go by everybody! And the basket will count!
I don't think it will. I think they called it on the dish off. The Tall Blacks will take it underneath.
Daryl Cartwright chased it up for 3, and why not? DC!
Well, Daryl had a strong season for Harbor Heat. It's all paid off for him getting his chance to get back in the Tall Blacks. And we know Cartwright has that range. He didn't have a lot of chance to use it or a lot of need to use it during the NBL season. Knocks down his first one.
Woody Towner in the corner, finds PC. Nick Bayona's on him. PC finds Jones. Jones travels inside. Beautiful finger roll right through the lane. Into the blender goes Phil Jones.
Just in the last couple possessions, the offensive execution looking better from the Tall Blacks. Able to get some better looks at the basket.
Carlos Cedeno working on Lindsay in the paint. Looking for help. Stolen by PC. PC with a bullet pass. Oh, baby! And it's a rim rocket affair with Paulo Winitana setting one down. Nice pass from PC.
Yeah, it's good defense. Lindsay Tate forcing the turnover. Once Farrell had it, corner was away.
Shot from Hector Romero, no good. PC with another rebound. He'll bring it up. He'll find Lindsay, who finds Darryl Cartwright for another three. Oh, in and out that one goes. And we've got a foul called on number 11, Jose Vargas, another one. That's 2 quick fouls on him. And it's funny, a lot of these Venezuelan players, as we could tell from their profiles, can't speak much English, but the 3 words they do know are "let us play." I've heard that a few times. Let us play, let us play. As we just saw Paulo Winitana with a fantastic dunk there. Beautiful pass from PC.
A bit of confusion. They thought Venezuela had called a timeout when in fact they just wanted to substitute, so Tall Blacks will come back out.
Well, they can do that every time if they want. Just chalk it up to a communication breakdown. Kirk Penny back into the game for the Tall Blacks. Paulo Winitana, the Bishop, top of the key. Polianare. Polianare finds a seam and will draw a foul. And the fouls have got to be mounting up now on the South Americans.
Again, Polianare is such a strong point guard as he penetrated. Really lowered that shoulder, though. Didn't extend the arm this time into Vasquez. The contact was made. Vasquez got the foul.
Kirk Penny for 3, no good. Winitana skyward, and it's tipped back in by Darryl Cartwright. And that's just beautiful Tall Blacks basketball.
A nice job by both players being active on the offensive board. Winitana getting good inside position. Cartwright able to finish it off.
Jose Vargas looks for Hector Romero. There will be a foul.
Darryl Cartwright got his, or Darryl Cameron rather, got his hand in there on the reach. You'll see the penetration and the kickoff there. Darryl with that big mitt, got a bit too much arm, so that'll send Romero to the line.
Tony Rampton back into the game as PC takes a well-deserved rest.
That's Darryl Cameron's 3rd foul, so he'll sit down because of that.
Oh. Hector Romero is short on the first occasion. Tall Blacks now sitting on a 10-point spread. The second offering will drop. 5:30 left to go till halftime. Polianare will bring it up for the Tall Blacks. David Kubian looking for that steal. Cartwright. Cartwright penetrates. Goes left, no good. Barrios with the rebound. He'll kick it on up. Looking for David Kubian, too high. Tall Blacks basketball.
It's a nice move by Darryl Cartwright, but one of the things you have to do in international basketball is expect contact and be able to finish strong at the basket, take the contact.
Kurteni stops, pops, and drops! And what a beautiful motion every time he releases the ball.
He did a great job coming up with those 2 screens, able to square up nicely, get his feet in good position very quickly.
Stolen by Polianare. 2-on-2. Polianare. That's going to be in. 2 more points for the Tall Blacks. And this well-oiled machine that Coach Vucinic has put together, well, they're playing fantastically at the moment. David Kubian with the top of the key now for Venezuela. Romero setting the high screen. Cubion left alone. Back to Romero it will go. And we have a foul called on the play.
9, push from the side. Yep, come.
Winitana will get that foul.
The Tall Blacks have picked up their defense, and that defense has created some easy opportunities. That time there was a foul on the Tall Blacks, and this time there is a timeout. But at the defensive end, the Tall Blacks have picked it up and been able to cause some turnovers and then create some easy opportunities in transition for themselves. That last one being the Kurt Penny layup.
Couple, okay, another couple, but at any time, when they hit the first shot popping back from the screen, don't go to push it back, okay? So we want to mix it up so we don't get comfortable with it. Offensively, we mix up 3 and 4. So we're going ball screens, mix up 3 and 4, give them different looks. Make sure we continue to spread if you don't get it together.
You can see Carl Dickel and then his Vucinic assistant there in the back of that huddle there. It's in the middle of your screen. And Vucinic wanted a strong Kiwi coach to come in and assist him. And there we see Carl, who's been involved with New Zealand basketball. Former cricket player himself there. Probably something that him and Nenad Vucinic don't have in common. But certainly in regards to basketball, working well, trying to develop that relationship as coach and assistant.
Well, for the Tall Blacks, we got Paulie Henare, Daryl Cartwright, Tony Rampton, Kurt Penny, and Dylan Boucher. Just over 4 minutes to go here until halftime. David Cubion will inbound for Venezuela. We'll find Hector Romero who gets it back. Cubion now. Top of the key, Barrios for 3, and that was an absolute air ball. And we'll come back the other way now. Paulie Henare will find Kurt Penny. Kurt Penny finds Cartwright. Cartwright for 3. Off the back of the iron, and Rampton is thrown to the ground as we have a foul called, I believe, on number 4, Miguel Mariaga. Rampton goes down hard. He's holding that elbow.
You see Rampton battling hard. I don't know whether that call should have been on Mariaga. It's probably more likely on Romero. But Rampton will go to the line after working hard to get to the offensive board.
And the first offering is good for Tony Rampton. And the second one is no good. His bodies go flying. Daryl Cartwright hits the ground hard. David Cubion comes back now for Venezuela. Mariaga, Romero through the paint, into the blender. Swatted away by Cartwright, but we will have a foul on the play. And here we have it, his debut. He is on the court. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Fitchett about to come into the game for the first time ever for the Tall Blacks. Good on ya.
Number 2 into the game for the Kiwis, Mike Fitchett. PC to the bench.
Number 9, Jesus Urbina will miss the first.
Out of that play, that's Tony Rampton picking up the foul. That's his 3rd foul. So we'll see whether Nenad, obviously right now electing to keep him in, or whether he goes to Casey Frank for the last few minutes of this quarter.
Michael Fitchett with the rock now for the Tall Blacks. Gonna find Kurt Penny, stops and pops another 3. That's off the front of the iron. Rampton's there. He'll put it up and in. Tony Rampton collects the garbage and puts it in the hole.
Rampton very active on the offensive board, going hard, getting that position.
Urbina finds Romero. And, well, Mariaga went the wrong way, and Urbina throws it right out of the court. Tall Blacks Blacks basketball. We are in the shadows of halftime. Tall Blacks 48, Venezuela 33.
Coach Vucinic questioning something at the scorer's table.
I do love those new Tall Blacks jumpers as well. Like to get me one of those.
Yeah, they are quite smart. That'll be part of your ensemble tomorrow.
I can't wait. Pitch it. Finds Henare. Paulie Henare thought about driving, then thought again. Top of the key he is. He'll fight Fitchett. Dylan Boucher now. Boucher creating some room. Finds Fitchett for three! Bang! Michael Fitchett, you are on the score sheet for the Tall Blacks!
It's great to see a young player come in, get that opportunity, knock down his first shot. Getting a good look at that three. That's what he did in the NBL playoffs.
Cedeno, that's short. Paulie Henare with the rebound. He's on the run. Looking for help. Finds Ramsey in the corner again for another three. That was going to be short. Scooped up by Urbina. David Kubian will bring it up now for Venezuela. Kubian, Cedeno. Barking out directions, Venezuelan style. 10 seconds on their shot clock. Hector Romero. Back up to Mariaga for three. And the big man hits the back of the iron. Fitchett will end up with a rebound. He'll kick it up to Kurt Penny. It's 3-on-1. And Kurt Penny will go right into the traffic and draw a foul on big Miguel Mariaga.
You see on this, I think Dylan was trying to hold the defender and allow Rampton there on the weak side. Possibly looking for that alley-oop, but he attacked the basket anyway, able to draw that contact and get to the line.
Kurt Penny at the line. Casey Frank back into the game for the Tall Blacks. As is Axir Sukri for Venezuela. And the first one is good for Kurt Penny. One thing I've noticed with the Tall Blacks has been very, very few Tall Black turnovers. Very precise with their ball tonight.
Yeah, they've done a good job this quarter. They got a little sloppy at the end of the first quarter, allowing Venezuela back into the game. But now they're taking much better care of the ball. Their execution has been better. And as a consequence, they're built a 20-point lead.
20-point lead, you gotta love it. Axir Sukri goes into the blender, and he will get his 2 points after all of that. And a foul.
Yeah, he battled hard to get that basket, attacking 3 or 4 players. See there, the first attempt. He stays with it in the crowd, able to power it up, drawing the foul out. Mika Vicona.
And well, let's not forget Australia, the Boomers, in August, a very big 3-game series against them. Now, they do have some people that are hurt. Stephen Black, CJ Bruton, Chris Anstey, Nielsen, and just the other day,
Brad Newley
went down with a bad ankle. So there's 5 of their stars that are most likely going to be out for the 3-game series.
Yeah, they're really challenging Brian Gorgino and what he's able to put together. There's no doubt they've got a talent, and it's going to be a battle for the Tall Blacks to go over there in August and get 2 out of those 3. But certainly with some of those key players out, it just makes it a little bit more attainable.
Well, if they do get 2 out of 3 of those games, they will go directly to the Beijing Olympics. If they don't, well, they're going to have to go into a number of repechage type tournaments that I've been told, and I've read on the internet, that might actually be harder than the Olympics.
Yeah, I think they've put a lot of focus just into these Australian games, as they should. And it's important that they do come away with the win here, because as you said, going over to Europe and trying to go through those repechage games is going to be even more of a battle.
Well, we got Fitchett, Tate, Ricavacona, Casey Frank, and Dylan Boucher on the court for the Tall Blacks. Minute and a half left to go here in the first half. Axel Shukri misses his shot, gets his rebound, but Vacona will end up with it, of course. And, well, Dylan Boucher will be hacked on the way in.
Venezuela wanted to apply a bit of three-quarter court pressure, trying to force the turnover. This time in the double team, they ended up fouling Dylan Boucher as he was trying to unload the ball. So he'll step to the line for 2 shots with a minute 20 to go.
Boucher at the line. First one is short. And the second one will go as Luis Bethelme and Mika Vacona for having it out underneath that last foul shot. Keep an eye on those two as well. All right, David Kubian with it now. Romero spins, loses the rock, Sucre. Urbina with no place to go. Finds Sucre, that's gonna be short. Boucher with the rebound, Fitchett on the run. Fitchett slows things down, around it goes to the outside of the perimeter. Almost thrown away, nice stop by Mika. Nice pass, Mika Vacona to Casey Frank. Partially blocked by Axel Sucre. And away comes David Kubian now for the Venezuelans.
That was a nice defensive play, good timing to get a piece of that. Casey Frank shot it just as it left his hand. I'll see if they can come down here and capitalize on that.
Cedeno goes baseline, and he will be fouled, it looks like possibly by Casey Frank with 23.8 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Casey Frank called for the foul for the Kiwis. That's his first personal for the night.
Casey Frank's first personal. He's only one of the tall black big men that's not in foul trouble through this first quarter, or first half rather. Tall Blacks will get the opportunity for the last shot here with 24 seconds to go.
And well, the Venezuelans, they are going to play their heart out every second of this 3-game series. I'm sure it would be a feather in their cap for them to come in at 21st on the planet and beat the 10th ranked team.
Yeah, and I also think they're probably looking at it realistically. They've got this new team together. They've got a young group that hasn't played together. I was talking a little bit to Vasquez before the game, and he said that they're just learning to play together. So they've got a long ways to go. Another block there.
Wow, swatted away by Luis Bethelme. Casey Frank gets rejected. You don't see that often. David Kubian with 9 seconds left to go. Nice finger roll. That will drop for him. 7 seconds left to go. Fitchett finds Casey Frank. Lindsey Tate. He puts it up from well downtown. That's going to be off the mark. Enthralling basketball, to say the least. At the end of the first half, the Tall Blacks sitting on 54 and Venezuela 37.